Testing for glutaraldehyde, featuring Taylor's K-1186. Who should use this kit? Glutaraldehyde is a non-oxidizing biocide used in cooling waters to control bacteria. By cross-linking the proteins within the cell walls of the bacteria, glutaraldehyde is able to impair cell function, resulting in the death of the bacteria. It is also used as a leather tanning agent, embalming fluid, resin or dye intermediate, and in X-ray film processing. In industrial and commercial cooling waters, glutaraldehyde is a fast-acting biocide at normal cooling water pH levels, pHs between 6.5 and 9, and is compatible with chlorine when the chlorine levels are below 15 parts per million. It also can be used in closed cooling water systems. Glutaraldehyde is not very effective, however, in controlling fungi and algae. Taylor's K-1186 comes with all the apparatus and reagents necessary for testing the glutaraldehyde levels. Anyone applying this chemical should monitor its residual levels over a period of time to be certain the appropriate dosage is being applied, since underdosing can result in incomplete sanitation of the water or process. Taylor's method for testing glutaraldehyde is categorized as a colorimetric comparison. The colorimetric method for glutaraldehyde employs a pH adjustment step, followed by the addition of 2 reagents to reach the color blue that signals the endpoint. Positive interferences include citrate over 5 parts per million, ferric iron over 10 parts per million, ferrous iron over 10 parts per million. Negative interferences include borate over 600 parts per million, chlorine over 15 parts per million, copper over 10 parts per million, fluoride over 9 parts per million, and molybdate over 50 parts per million. Before beginning this or any other Taylor test, it is best to read the instructions through to the end. Familiarizing yourself with all the steps to come is particularly important if the test is new to you, or if the test is newly purchased, as sometimes our procedures change. Draw water to be tested into a 30 milliliter syringe up to the 30 milliliter mark. To filter the water sample, open the filter holder and place 1 filter disc into the holder. Screw the filter holder together, and then screw the filter holder onto the syringe, being careful not to push on the plunger. Slowly depress the plunger to filter water into a clean, dry sample tube to the 25 milliliter mark. Do not empty or disassemble the syringe filtration system. It may be needed in the next step. For proper test results, the sample's pH must be adjusted between 4.5 and 5.0. Dip the pH test paper into the water sample for 15 seconds. Remove and match the color with the printed color standards on the test paper container. For this demonstration, we're using Taylor's Speed Stir, which is sold separately, but you can also manually swirl the sample. If the sample pH is above 5.0, add 1 drop of hydrochloric acid and swirl for 15 seconds to mix. Place the same pH test paper back into the sample. Match the color with the printed color standards. Repeat this process until the sample pH is between 4.5 and 5.0. If the pH drops below 4.5, add more filtered sample water from the syringe filtration system to raise the pH. As a time saver, record the number of drops of acid needed to adjust the sample pH, and begin with that amount when retesting this water. Using a clean 3 milliliter pipette, add 10 milliliters of the pH-adjusted water sample to a second clean, dry, 25 milliliter sample tube. For glutaraldehyde levels expected to be more than 50 parts per million, a 4 milliliter sample should be used instead. If using a 4 milliliter sample, you'll need to dilute the sample to the 10 milliliter mark with DI water. Using the dipper spoon, add 1 level dipper full of glutaraldehyde reagent 1. Swirl to dissolve. Wait exactly 3 minutes and swirl the sample tube to mix. Then immediately add 4 drops of glutaraldehyde reagent 2. Swirl to mix. Wait exactly 4 minutes. And pour the reacted sample into the test cell to the 5 milliliter mark. Wipe dry the test cell and place it in the comparator with the frosted side facing you. Immediately match the color in the test cell with the color standard. If a 10 milliliter sample was used, record the reading as parts per million glutaraldehyde. If a 4 milliliter sample was used, multiply the reading by 2.5 and record as parts per million glutaraldehyde. Clean and thoroughly rinse all apparatus, sample tubes, syringe, filter holder, test cell, and 3 milliliter pipette with deionized, distilled, or tap water between tests. The pipette should be disassembled and all parts thoroughly rinsed. To clean the syringe and filter holder, unscrew the filter holder from the syringe, open the filter holder and discard the filter disc. Draw up deionized, distilled, or tap water into the syringe. Screw the filter holder together and put it back on the syringe. Depress the plunger to clean and rinse. Repeat as necessary.
Taylor's knowledgeable customer service representatives are available to provide technical assistance about our products. Call 800-TEST-KIT